Very welcome to the first Deciders match of the evening. Spawning to the top right hand side on Proxima Station, we have our Red Terran Grizzly from Mexico. And to the bottom left, in teal, playing Zerk for Myrisk and Germany, it's Schnubiiii. So, of course, Grizzly with the wall off will probably try to take her first base back here. Schnubiiii in the meantime will probably try to expand to the front. Not taking the back pocket expansion for now, but will probably take it later on. Will hatch first, actually, right here. How come she does that? It usually makes it a little bit more easy for the Zerk player to get creep towards the opponent's base. Mostly just generally into the opponent's direction. And it also makes it more difficult for the Terran to see if a third base actually gets taken and when. So this is mostly the reason why I actually wanted to take this third base first as the natural base. So Grizzly, of course, with the early scout, we've seen this many times by her. She really wants to be secure that the opponent is not going for some sort of early cheese shenaniganry. So even though she will usually go into a Reaper, but not this time around afterwards, she will scout with the SCV. But of course I like this a lot, actually, not going into the Reaper. If you scout with your SCV anyways, you don't really need to get in with a Reaper right afterwards. I mean, she sees the early expansion, sees that the spawning pool is almost done, might even actually see it finish once she comes back, and will then of course see that there's no third base back here. Schnubiiii couldn't have really afforded a spawning pool plus a base back here. Would have needed to go 3 base before hatch in order to get all of these out. And that would have been really risky, especially against a player who's known to open with Reapers, usually. But this time around, Grizzly didn't do so. Goes straight into Factory and her expansion as well. So we might actually see Schnubiiii just killing off that pesky SCV down here, and then maybe eventually just expanding again once more, because she can just afford it in a few seconds. We'll get speed out though before that. Yeah, unfortunately her overlords do not really provide her any vision of the main ramp, otherwise she would have seen that her opponent went into Marine straight, and then maybe a little bit later into a Factory. So she can actually just comfortably expand right now if she wants to. And like I said before, we will probably see her expand very soon. I don't really think that Schnubiiii wants to be aggressive heads-on, so we will probably see her expand pretty soon-ish. So Starport in the making, so it seems as if Grizzly once more wants to go for some sort of droppage play. Could be mines or just Hellions, maybe even a Hellbat push, but so far we can't really see an armory, so maybe not Hellbats, maybe just some Hellions being dropped into the main base and then moving in, trying to roast some drones. But Schnubiiii getting the Baneling nest. So if she actually realizes what's up, she will probably be able to get a few more Lings and Banelings out and should easily deflect whatever push is coming out of Grizzly. So even Banshee right behind this with Cloak. So we might actually see some sort of timing push into the third base, into the natural base that's usually designed to be a third base, while the third base is actually being taken. So Speedlings moving across the map, one Speedling just walking above, sees that there are Hellions, sees that there are some Marines, also actually did not see that the Tech Lab was researching something. But yeah, there the push is actually coming. If he's just waiting for the medevac, there it is. So okay, just moving out, wants to make clear that there are no more Lings and maybe even Banelings waiting underneath that ramp. Grizzly actually used to be a little bit... Oh, actually got things overload over here. Throughout the season, Grizzly used to be quite vulnerable to early aggression and early cheeses. So maybe that might be an appropriate thing to do for Schnubiiii, trying to Baneling bust maybe her opponent, or doing something along those lines. So, okay, without Banelings you don't really want to engage all of these Hellions. More Marines are coming. The armory is almost halfway done, so once the armory is done, these Hellions will morph into the oh-so-problematic Halberds. Of course, Grizzly does not really want to lose too many of those. Finally, they can transform, and now, of course, it will be more difficult for the Zerglings to engage. Yeah, look at that roasting there. All of these Lings. I mean, it seems as if Schnubiiii might just barely be able to hold this with the help of the Queens, but then of course there's still this Cloaked Banshee here and no detection whatsoever, so it seems as if Grizzly will just break through eventually here. A 1 Roach and a few more Zerglings in the making, but the Zerglings and the Roach alone will not suffice in order to take out these Halberds. Of course, Schnubiiii can just retreat into her back pocket expansion for now. Will probably eventually go down to just 1 base. Nice little surround here, but again, the Halberds just roasting away on all of these Lings. Lings alone are not what you want to have against all of these Halberds being clumped up. They toast them so quickly, it's not even funny. I mean, finally the Roaches get out, but of course this Banshee still stands strong, and we don't have any anti-air, so unfortunately there's nothing Schnubiiii can really do. I mean, as long as the Banshee is not shooting the hatchery, the Halberds will still take some time in order to kill this base. Should Schnubiiii eventually get out something in order to kill this Banshee and prevent it from killing down that hatchery, she's actually still in kind of an okayish position, finally killing the rest of the reinforcing army, and now Grizzly actually retreats completely, not even trying to kill that base with the... Ooh, what is going on? She's not even trying to kill that base with the Banshee, despite Schnubiiii not having any sort of anti-air, now granting Schnubiiii the possibility to actually get Queens out again. It seems as if Grizzly is really afraid of these Roaches pushing towards her her main ramp, maybe even breaking through, because right now the Banshee is actually everything she has in order to fend this off. Only a few Halberds, and Halberds not that good against Roaches. So for now, actually, Schnubiiii did kind of great hold here. So in the meantime, we have the Banshee returning into the main base, trying to kill away that Baneling nest here, but now a Queen is ready. We also have a Spore and an Overseer as well, so the Banshee harassment will be denied for now, and Schnubiiii actually taking the supply lead here, while Grizzly only now is starting to build up her infrastructure and really starting to saturate her natural base. So let's have a look at the worker count. What does it actually say? I mean, 24 to 39, so still a lot of drones were killed, and of course not many drones were produced in the meantime, while Schnubiiii was still trying to get away. Ooh, okay, looks as if this Queen got killed by the 2 Banshees here. Yeah, these Banshees are both on low health, and the Overseer is still standing strong, but yeah, looks like 1 Queen was not enough in order to take out these Banshees, and Schnubiiii did not really try to, but now trying to break through. There is 1 Liberator and 1 tank out, but Schnubiiii is just passing by everything. Is not throwing corrosive bites on this tank, but is starting to do so now, I feel, yeah. I mean, right now all of these units are clumping up a little bit here, trying to get rid of that tank, and does get it. The Liberator now is in the air, as well as the Banshees. Schnubiiii still dealing a lot of damage. He has already killed 7 workers, and is inside the main base of Grizzly. I don't really think that this push will actually kill Grizzly right now, but it will definitely kill her a lot of workers, and then Schnubiiii will have equaled out the amount of workers on both sides. So... well, what a back and forth game so far. Even more units reinforcing, trying to get in with the Lings here, right through that open door. The Liberator is still open, and Grizzly is parking most of the units right inside that Liberator circle. So Schnubiiii has to be careful not to overcommit, wants to tear down that orbital command, but I don't think that will be really successful, especially since Grizzly can always just lift it up and deny that attack. And woo! I mean, Schnubiiii not even trying to take it more slowly, just sending in more and more reinforcements, while Grizzly now trying to make the best out of her units, sending the Banshees across once more, and also the Liberator, in order to deal some more harassment damage. There's nothing here that gives detection, so once these Banshees arrive, they will again be able to just deny the mining from this base completely, and will probably now be able to tear it down. This 1 Queen will not help out whatsoever until the detection is done, but probably Grizzly will deny it by taking out that Spore Crawler before it can finish. Will for now just take out all of these drones, and eventually will kill off this hatchery. Now, I don't really know if these Zerglings will be of any help. Called back I think Schnubiiii would have done better to just leave them back at home, but it was probably an F2 move. Doesn't really matter as much, because the harassment is over for now. Grizzly taking the supply lead with 73 to 62, and now finally getting her production back into gear, while Schnubiiii tries to get into Lethal Reconstitution. The speed for roaches, while we see some drops incoming by Grizzly with some mines on board. So let's see how much damage she can do. In the meantime, we have Schnubiiii and Grizzly at almost equal worker counts. More and more drones being produced right behind it. Schnubiiii teching up a little bit, trying to rebuild that baneling nest. While the third is down for Grizzly as well, so Schnubiiii actually needs to take another base quickly in order to stay one base ahead of her opponent. But right now she's scared as hell, of course. There's the drop incoming. Unfortunately, a little bit of an anti-timing here. The Lynx just leaving the base, but will now come in. The mines actually burrow. Will probably get a good shot off on a few of these Lynx, but eventually get taken out. And yeah, this was hold pretty costly, but still kind of okayish. No drones lost though, which was really greatly done by Schnubiiii to just pull them all away just in the nick of time. But of course, Grizzly's production is running again, and she's just getting out everything, clearing overlords with this pesky Viking over here, and also securing her natural base with a few buildings. Will eventually build one more depot over here in order to seal this off completely. And there we have another harassment. Ooh, almost losing the medevac here, only saving it by 2 points. Unfortunately, Schnubiiii not focus firing on this medevac here, and more attacks incoming from the front. So far, Schnubiiii dealing a great job of keeping her opponent back, but will she be able to continue doing so? Okay, looks as if, yeah, the medevac just wanted to get in here once more, but the Spore Crawler was ready. That was a really risky maneuver there by Grizzly to go in with a 2 health medevac once more. More reinforcements streaming across the map towards the front of Schnubiii's creep. More creep being spread. She has a decent army here, not too many banelings though. Most of them are in the background. I really hope she doesn't forget to bring them with her once the engagement starts. It's mostly Marines, and only a few Vikings that won't really help out that much. Spire incoming for Schnubiiii as well. More and more units streaming across the map. Also a 4th command center going up for Grizzly. And that could actually seal the deal eventually, even if this push shouldn't work out as well for Grizzly here. It mostly depends on the counterattack, because there's not much back at home. So should Schnubiiii be able to crush this army concisively, is that the correct word? Well, if she does, though, in a convincingly, that was the word I was searching for. If she actually manages to crush this force here convincingly, she could just go for a counterattack and rip everything apart, especially since this is not a complete wall-off here. So, in the meantime, we have the Vikings flying around, maybe looking for some more overlords, maybe even landing inside the natural base, but there are some drones and queens, and Vikings landed are not really that good. So Schnubiiii trying to engage, but Grizzly is just loading up everything, trying to go inside the main base, but there's not really much he can do. And like I said, there they are landing, but they have already mostly been taken down by that Spore Crawler. Just almost losing this for nothing, mostly. Yeah, Grizzly just realized, okay, no, there's no hole, nothing really I can do. Maybe I will be able to just clear this Overlord, because the Overlord does not have speed yet, but it might actually even get away, just barely? Yes, it does, so never mind. But in the meantime, a 4th is going up over here, plus a 5th base already inside the main base, which will probably land over here to the gold base. And like I said before, Schnubiiii actually has the army, well, actually does not have the army advantage. But she has so much stuff out. It looks, in numbers, it doesn't look like much, but on the ground it actually looks like a lot. Okay, Grizzly is unloading here. We'll probably lose most of these Marines here. Just loads up, but loses 1 medevac in the process. Not really any damage dealt so far. Okay, and this command center is probably misrallied. Is that... Oh, that's actually the idea. She really wants to take the forward base here, which is really interesting. Something I've never even seen that often. A little bit again, the anti-timing there. No! No! Exploding all of the Banes, and then the anti-timing right as she moves out, and all of her Banes exploded into the rocks there. The push is flying into her 3rd base. Now she has to come back the whole way. Does not... Yeah, we'll get the tank at least. But yeah, did not even lose that much actually. Only 1 queen and 4 workers, which is not all too problematic. But still, this debris is not down, so unfortunately she can't really kill these marines off that are just barely outside her own base. And like I said before, the most problematic thing for Schnubiiii in the long run is that Grizzly has continued taking bases while Schnubiiii is still on 3. And her main is actually already dry. Her natural base, her back pocket base is not looking all too good. And also her third base is pretty dry as well. She actually needs to like double expand right now if she ever hopes to come back into this game. If she doesn't, in the long run, Grizzly will eventually kill her because she will be able to reproduce army while her opponent does not. I mean, both players totally forgetting about their upgrades. Grizzly has just finished both of her engineering base in order to finally start some upgrades. Don't know if she will think about them for now. But yeah, like I said, the biggest problem right now is that she will eventually just win the race in the long run. Good engagement actually by Schnubiiii, trying to engage before the tanks can eventually siege up, but there's just not enough stuff here. Avoiding everything. Like I said, this was actually like almost the best engagement that Schnubiiii could have hoped for with the army she had, but now the army is down. Schnubiiii had half the supply of Grizzly. Grizzly on a healthy 5 base, well mostly 4 base economy, since this base down here is not really mining. But yeah, I mean, this is a healthy economy. Schnubiii's bases are almost empty. She only has 28 workers to the 50 if we just have a look at the income. Even if she didn't die right now, which she will, it wouldn't matter in the long run. This game, she fought very, very bravely, but this is the overwhelming numbers. GG, and Grizzly takes the 1-0 lead. And here we go into the second map of this best of 3. We're on sequencers. Pointing to the bottom left in teal, we have our Zerg player for Germany. It's Schnubiiii, replacing Sitaska, who unfortunately didn't show up. And to the top right, in red, our Terran player, it's Grizzly. So let's see if Schnubiiii can come back. It's only a best of 3 this time around. Should she lose this best of 3, she's not out of the tournament yet, but will fall to the loser bracket and may make her way back from there. But it's not over yet. She showed a very strong first game against her opponent. And this time around we have a pool first. So let's see. Grizzly, of course, with the early scout once more, is building the barracks. We'll see whether she wants to drop down a base on the low ground or if she will take the more secure route. In the meantime, we have the hatchery going down for Schnubiiii. She will be able to do some early push-out with Lings, should she commit to it. We'll see if that's what she actually plans to do. I mean, this is fairly wide open, and if the Terran actually takes a base right away, and it seems as if Grizzly wants to do so, you can actually force a cancel with a few early links, even though there's the first Reaper out. This time around, again, going for the Reaper Scout. Probably just wants to get the early scout in order to see whether there will be some early aggression shenaniganery, and then to have the Reaper out, because this is a very large map. So once the Reaper pops and makes it across the map, maybe some more important info is to be gained at that point in time. So first 2 Zerglings on the way. The hatchery is almost done. In the meantime, we have a command center incoming for Grizzly. The SCV scouting for a third base, which is not over here. Might actually even check over here. A lot of Zergs actually prefer to take the base over to the right-hand side because it has 2 gases instead of only 1. And depending on what composition you're going for, you usually just want to have an additional gas. So a lot of people don't really take this base, but rather this one over here. So, there's the Reaper inside the main base. Unfortunately, the Lings are just across the map, now retreating completely. Schnubiiii doing her best in order to be safe from the Reaper attacks. Reaper not really focus firing anything, so this Reaper could have actually gotten way more kills out. Might actually get one. No! This drone just barely survives with 2 hit points here. And the Lings drive it away for now, so no loss there for Schnubiiii. Now she actually has a lot of Lings, so once speed kicks in, she might just actually move across the map. And this is still wide open. Like I said before, Grizzly has proven... Oh, actually losing the Reaper over here. Grizzly has proven to be a little bit vulnerable to early aggression. And again, I mean, this is fairly wide open. Like, just imagine if Schnubiiii threw down a Baneling Nest right now, going into mass Lings only, and then just moving across the map, morphing all of the Banes over here, and then just moving in. There's nothing, like really nothing that Grizzly could do at that point in time. Producing a factory and a starport, we'll see. No, it doesn't look like this time around she wants to go into Banshees once more. It looks more like Widow Mines and, well, yeah, Widow Mines later on with the factory and just switching these 2 buildings. Okay, and there it is. Okay, Schnubiiii just trying to get inside the main base, actually losing a lot of Lings in the meantime, but will probably now get at least a few worker kills here. Could even actually go for the mule. Grizzly not really reacting the best way she could, is just running around a little bit while Schnubiiii is just outmaneuvering her units here, and the Marines not really running where they're supposed to run. Actually, don't really know why Schnubiiii is still trying to get inside the main base, can just easily deal a lot of damage outside here. And yeah, again, I mean, she has a lot of Zerglings, but she does not have the Baneling Nest. Is trying to expand behind this, though. But still, I mean, Banelings would have been so much better. 3 workers so far only. Unfortunately, Schnubiiii has already lost a lot of workers. Might now actually be able to get a good surround on all of these Marines. And could... Ooh, no, the misclick! Oh, unfortunately, just misclicking on these unbuildable plates there. Still getting a little bit more value out of these Lings, but 5... Oh, again, more Lings incoming here. But Grizzly is getting a good position right behind these mineral fields. Ugh, Schnubiiii sacrificing the Lings in order to at least get the mule, which she does. But 7 workers and a mule? Where are the units? Where's the units lost tab? Is that it? No, that it? No, that it? There it is. Okay, never mind. Okay, there it is. Ugh, really a bit difficult. Ugh, 42 Lings for 8 workers, 2 Marines, and 1 Reaper. That's actually not how you want it to go. So, I dare say that Grizzly this time around is actually in a big lead. Very, very unfortunate. Like I said, it was a really good idea. I think it would have worked out tremendously well had Schnubiiii gotten a Baneling Nest. That would have just changed everything. But now, she's getting it. Has to defend probably against the first drop of Grizzly, which might actually prove to be a little bit more difficult. Again, unfortunately, with the anti-timing here, Schnubiiii is moving out as Grizzly is moving in, and she doesn't really have anything to defend back at home. Like nothing. There's nothing here. Ling's not trying to kill that bunker, will now move in, but there's a tank already, so this will be cleared rather easily. And at the same time, we have the Marines will easily take out that first base, no problem. Like I said, there's just nothing back at home. There's just nothing she can do. 14 Lings in production. But even those won't suffice. She will have to wait until these Lings morph into Banelings. With pure Lings, she cannot really hope to accomplish anything. And yeah, of course, Grizzly's not finished. I mean, nothing attacked her at all. Now the Lings are running in. No, they will not be able to clear this off. Not with the help of the Medevac counter heal. And that's it. GG. And Grizzly takes the second game for a quick 2-0 win.